We're coming to you live from the Built Ford Tough Studio. Boomer Esiason, Greg Giannotti. It's Boomer and Gio on the Fan. Simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network. And wherever you are in the free Odyssey app, good Thursday morning. It is opening day in baseball. Yes, end of March, still 30-something degrees when you're driving in, but it's going to warm up into the 50s. And the Yankees will take the field in the Bronx today. Yes, the 2025 version of the New York Yankees coming off an American League championship last year, then getting smacked around by the Dodgers and it ending in disappointing fashion, will start another run back to where they want to be. And the New York Mets with Juan Soto and this new regime and everybody saying that they now have the spotlight on them and they are the big brother because of what happened in the offseason. They started against the Yankees' nemesis in the Houston Astros. So much talk, so much bickering, so much back and forth. Met fans, Yankee fans, the rivalry is as hot as it's been since 2000 when they met in the Subway Series. And it starts today, and it ends a long time from now. We're going to be here for all of it. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Play ball! Yeah, I can't wait, man. This is great, and this is finally here, and now we can finally start discussing exactly what happens to both of these two teams and all the changes that they've made, all the different people that we're going to see for the first time, especially in a Yankee uniform in a real game. We may even see some facial hair, some beards, which will be a little bit unique, to say the least. But I will say that hope springs eternal for all of these teams. You know that. I know that. I think the Yankee outfield is going to be pretty stocked, especially if Jason Dominguez comes around and he does what he's supposed to do. They're going to move, I guess, looks like Aaron Judge is going to be playing right field. Cody Bellinger is going to be in center. So you feel like you're really confident there. There'll be a new second baseman for you, a new first baseman for you. Austin Wells is going to be the leadoff hitter. I was reading and hearing our buddy Brandon Tierney, my Yankee go-to fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, talking about Anthony Volpe and how important this year is for him.
That's a Volpe.
Right, we'll have a revolving door at third base for sure, and we have these injuries within the pitching staff. However, they should have a very good bullpen. So, hey, look, they're Juan Soto less, but can Goldschmidt and Bellinger and Dominguez somehow collectively pick all of that, production up? Can they lengthen this lineup? Can they give Aaron Judge the protection that he needs? And can Aaron Judge continue to do what he has done as a New York Yankee?
Yeah, and once they lost Juan Soto to the Mets, they focused on pitching and defense more so in the offseason to try to make up for the offense. You can win in certain ways, obviously, in baseball, and what's unfortunate about that is their two best pitchers last year go down. One we expect back in Luis Gil, but of course Garrett Cole is going to be out for the entire year. So that's a big blow when you start to build your team in that way and you're counting on those two guys, and neither one of them we're going to see anytime soon. That's a big problem. But every year, we talk about these same things, big injuries, and it's those who have depth, and it's those who can stay healthy, and it's those who have the guys that come up and fill in. I mean, I remember it was a number of years ago where everybody got hurt on the Yankees, and then every single guy who Brian Cashman brought in was able to keep the thing together. And sometimes that happens, and sometimes guys get hurt, and the thing torpedoes right into the ground. So we'll see who picks up the slack. Carlos Rodon gets the start today. Of course, he's been disappointing since coming over here on a big contract. And we'll see what Max Fried is and if he is someone that can be in that Cy Young conversation that Garrett Cole was in last year. I mean, that's what he's going to need to be if this team is going to win the AL again.
So I think what Yankee fans want to see today, if I had to just put my Yankee, kind of soothsaying hat on, they want to see Carlos Rodon go out there and be the pitcher that they paid for. And don't have any, drama associated with it. If you told me he went 5 innings and gave up a run, I think everybody would be totally happy with that. And hopefully the Yankees offense wakes up and, they steamroll today and they win opening day and they get off to a great start. And he gets off to a great start because he needs to get off to a great start. He needs to build his confidence. The thing that I hate the most, and we talked about this yesterday, is players who do sign big contracts. They come here to New York or wherever they go, but really particularly here in New York, and then they have to sit and they have to deal with those expectations. And the fans are not going to be patient. They're just not going to be patient, especially with this whole flirtation that we had supposedly with Juan Soto, which we all knew wasn't true. And then they go out and they replace him with Bellinger and Goldschmidt and trying to get that kind of production from those two guys. And you're hoping that they're going to give it to you. I think Bellinger will give it to you. I think he'll fit in nicely for Yankee Stadium and for the Yankees and in this lineup. But for a guy like Carlos Rodon, he has got to go out and he's got to show the Yankee fan that he belongs here and he doesn't go into that death spiral of loss of confidence.
Yeah, and that usually happens in the bigger games. He was able to figure it out for most of the regular season last year. Then you put him in big spots, and that's where he crumbles a little bit. Do you want to say that today is a big spot?
Yeah, sure it is.
Opening day, then yeah, this is when you don't normally get the best version of him, but he's got to figure that out. I mean, all these guys in that rotation now have just extra pressure on them, spotlight on them to be great. And the two guys at the top now, with no Garrett Cole, no Luis Heel, and Carlos Rodon and Max Fried got paid a ton of money to come here and pitch in big games, and they better do it well, or this Yankee team will go nowhere.
And by the way, they're opening with those pesky Brewers.
The pesky Brewers.
Yeah, that's who we opened with last year and got swept.
That's right. It was ugly. I mean,
God,
the Yankees should
ugly.
be opening against the Astros, and we should be opening. Not we. The Mets should be opening again.
You could say we.
Nah, I don't do
it's
that
okay.
anymore.
We're Met fans.
I know, but I don't do that anymore. It's the team,
I don't know. I felt like, when I put on my Met uniform as a 7-year-old, I still have somewhat of the tingling of opening day.
Yeah, but
it's us.
But we're
Come
not
on,
7
man.
anymore. You know what I'm saying?
I'm certainly not 7, but I still have fond memories of those days.
Sure, and you can, and I've got fond memories of opening days too. I've probably been to about 10 of them at Shea Stadium and Citi Field combined. So it's great, but I'm not going to say we anymore. But the Mets should be starting with the Brewers, and the Yankees should be starting with the Astros. But baseball is strange. They start at the end of March. Things don't make sense. It's not even a 1 o'clock first pitch. It's 3 o'clock.
And by the way, you got two teams playing in minor league stadiums, the Rays and the A's.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, baseball's in a weird spot. They just lost their ESPN contract. I don't know if they'll figure out a way to get it going the right way again. But, ESPN has spent so much money on the NFL and so much money on college football that, it's like somebody had to go. Somebody had to get cut.
No, absolutely. And, the way that baseball is looked at here in New York is totally different than the way it's looked at across the country. And it's become a regional sport and one of the most regional sports there is at this point. And we have just such a deep-rooted baseball fandom here with all the history all the way back to the two teams before they left for California. Now the Yankees and the Mets and the successes and the failures that they have had. I mean, it's a baseball town. But you go throughout the rest of the country, we're not a baseball country anymore. So, yeah, we talk about it here. Every one of my friends is into it. Everybody talks about the Yankees and Mets.
Did you just say we're not a baseball country?
We're not anymore, no.
Did you just say that?
Well, we know that. Yeah, I've said that for years. So
I know.
have you.
Listen.
We're not.
It's our pastime.
Not anymore. Used to be. Not anymore. Our pastime now is scrolling and football and gambling and weed. Those are our pastimes.
And golf.
And golf. Those are our pastimes.
Okay.
It's just not anymore. I mean, and I don't want to have some discussion about the romanticism of baseball or anything else, but it's different. I mean, what we experience here is different than other places, and I love it that way, quite frankly.
Normally, when something is romantic, it lasts and takes a little while to get there. And you kind of like, kind of going through it. But now they get the pitch clock, so all that romanticism is gone.
Yeah, I love it.
We love the pitch clock.
Love the pitch clock. Absolutely love the pitch clock. But this is a huge year for David Stearns, Carlos Mendoza, Steve Cohen, all the Mets brass. I mean, everything was sort of building for them up to this point where the expectations are on them. They've got the high payroll. Of course, it's not as high as the Dodgers. They went out and got the prize free agent. They outbid the Yankees. I mean, this is the year. This is Steve Cohen's banner year that they got to go out and perform.
You talk about these payrolls. I don't know how they count the payrolls. I mean, I really don't. I mean, I see the Mets as the number one spending team, and then you have the Dodgers deferring money, and then you have the Yankees spend. I don't even know who's number one anymore. I'm so confused as to how they add up the numbers, because a lot of the times I'll look at this stuff, and I love looking at it, and I see that the Yankees are the number one team when it comes to spending this year. And then all of a sudden, the next day it changes, and the Mets are the number one team in spending this year. And then it changes again, And it turns out that the Dodgers, when you add up in all the deferments, are the team spending the most money this year. All I can tell you, they're in the top 5, and they've spent a lot of money on a lot of guys. And a lot of guys, not every guy is going to live up to that contract. I'm sorry, not everyone.
Sure. I mean, and sometimes you live up to it for a number of years, and sometimes you don't live up to it at all. I mean, I think what the Mets want out of Juan Soto is what Bryce Harper has given the Philadelphia Phillies, and then some, meaning you got to win a World Series on top of it. You know, Bryce Harper, even though it was a few years ago, he got a lot of money, not nearly as much as Juan Soto got, but at the time it was the biggest contract. And he went there, he embraced the city, he became a Philadelphia Philly, he took that team to the playoffs multiple times, took them to the World Series. He absolutely incited the Philadelphia Philly fan in a good way. And that's the very least that Juan Soto's got to do as a Met. And you got to go and win a World Series on top of it to justify all of it. But that's what you want to see. You don't want to see Anthony Rendon to the Angels. You want to see Bryce Harper to the Phillies. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, and Bryce Harper also did it with a bad elbow.
He did, yeah. Tommy John, and ended up hitting and not throwing, and that is the example, because everybody wants to bring up the big failures in free agency and in the Mets history, and Jason Bay and Mo Vaughn, and even recently with other teams like Rendon or Jacoby Ellsbury with the Yankees. Well, Juan Soto signing when he did was like Bryce Harper signing when he did. 25, 26 years old, going to a place and delivering on that promise.
And you would also say Shohei Ohtani, too.
Yeah,
because
indeed,
his elbow blows. He doesn't pitch, and all he does is hit and steal 50 bases. That's a baseball player.
Yeah.
By the way, all right, so here's your MLB up-to-date team salary payroll tracker.
Okay.
All right, so number one is the Dodgers.
Makes sense.
Number 2 is the Philadelphia Phillies.
Okay.
Number 3 is the Mets. Number 4 is Toronto. Number 5 is Texas. Number 6 is Chicago Cubs. And number 7 is the Yankees. Now, this is the active roster payroll tracker.
Well, yeah, the Yankees dropped down because Garrett Cole goes on the IL, and that doesn't count to the active payroll tracker.
And they get some insurance there, right?
I believe so, yes. Not all of it, but some of it.
All right, so now I'm going to give you multi-year cash.
Do I
this
care?
This is where the Mets are number 1.
Oh, the multi-year cash? All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's because Juan Soto. Multi-year cash.
But Shohei Ohtani's making $700 million, and that's why the Dodgers are second.
Okay. All right.
The Yankees are third.
I see that. Multi-year cash.
So depending on what your subheading is depending on where your team ranks.
Bottom line is the Mets, the Dodgers, the Yankees, and the Phillies spend a lot of money.
Brother.
That's right. And they want to win. All these teams want to win. And unfortunately, the Phillies are in the Mets division, and that's going to be a problem along with the Braves. The Yankees, as we know, have a little bit of an easier path, even though you got the pesky Orioles in there, and the Red Sox are trying to get back into the mix.
They are kind of pesky. Now, I did see where there is one team that has the lowest win total over the last 35 years. Don't you answer who that is. Al, who is the team that is projected?
I think he's going to know this.
That is projected to have the lowest win total. I think it's 53.5 games.
White Sox.
Yeah, I knew
Look
he would
at
know
you.
that. I knew he would know
on
that.
it.
I knew he would
I'm
know
very
that.
proud of you this opening day, Al.
Thank you so much.
No one loves baseball like Al Dukes. Nobody out there. Now, you give me your Bob Uslers, give me your Chris Mad Dog Russos, give me all those guys. Give me your Mark Chernoffs. Nobody loves baseball to his core, down to his pelvis, his hernia mesh. Yes. This man loves baseball down to every fiber of him.
He was a really good softball player and a very good teammate, I might add.
Yeah.
Very unselfish.
Indeed. Yes, without a doubt. Well, it is back for all of us, and I know Jerry always talks about he loves baseball. It's his best friend in the summer, and it's always on.
Jerry says that?
Oh, yeah, he says that. Yeah, it's
Does
always
he
on.
walk around saying that?
That's what he says. It's on all the time.
Wait a
he
minute.
knows it's going to be there.
It's his best friend?
Yeah, he says it's his companion. He goes, a lot of things let you down in life, but, baseball is always going to be there. These are the things he says. That's what he loves baseball in the summer.
I know
it's
loves
always
baseball.
on. He knows it's going to be on. He's like, the inconsistencies in life are out there everywhere, but you know that from the end of March all the way through October, baseball's going to be there for you. You'll have friends that come and go. You'll have love that comes and goes. You'll have seasons change, but baseball will always be by your side.
That's what Jerry Recco says.
That's what he says, yeah. You never heard him say that? That's crazy.
I've never heard him say
he gets into that.
I know he loves coaching baseball.
He does.
I know he loves watching his kids play baseball.
He's not doing that anymore. The kids are have outgrown that. Now they play golf together, which is great. But baseball's your companion, man.
That's his companion.
It's a sidecar.
I know he loves baseball, but the way that you just put that this morning, I didn't realize that it was that impactful in his life.
It is, and we've got many, many people this morning. People that are already driving to the Bronx with a 3 p.m. first pitch to go out there and tailgate. I guarantee you there's at least a couple of them that feel the same way. And then the eternal optimists, as you say, the ones that say, Garrett Cole gets hurt, don't worry about it. From the Yankee perspective, Luis Heel hurt, we'll figure it out. We're the Yankees. And from the Mets standpoint, our rotation looks not great on paper, but they're going to be great. The pitching lab, we are going to be great.
We have a pitching lab. That's
Clay
true.
Holmes is going to be in the Cy Young conversation. All the hope that is here on this March 27th, 2025. How soon does that go away? Hopefully it doesn't.
Last year it went away like in the first 6 weeks for the Mets.
And then it came back in the best way possible.
It came roaring back.
It came back in the best way possible. Yeah.
I mean, but baseball's here all the time, according to him.
Well, while you're living, yes.
Yes.
Yep, that's right. By the way, I was getting real nostalgic driving in this morning. Al Cintron was in for Chris McMonagle, and you just had some wonderful callers calling up. And back-to-back, one man, he called up and said that he stopped being a Yankee fan when the Yankees fired Mel Allen in 1964. And then right after that, another caller called up and said, I like opening day, but it hasn't been the same since the 1950s. That was his favorite opening day. And then right after that, a man said, yes, I've been a Mets fan and watched them play in the Polo Grounds. And
Jesus.
It just
got older people don't sleep. That's the problem.
Yeah, it just got the bubbles going for me. You know what I'm saying? Just
bubbles.
Just thinking about that. And then the guy who called up and said that he stopped being a Yankee fan in 1964 because they fired Mel Allen, said he knew he made the right decision in 1985 when Steinbrenner fired Yogi Berra. He knew 21 years later he made the right move to be a Mets fan. It's a good story for you. Get ready for it, Al. You can't escape. It's either... It's just something new, man. You turn the page. It's the Giants' offensive line. It's the Giants' draft. Now I saw Babe Ruth's last game. No matter what season it is, they're coming for you, man. They're coming for you. Oh, I can't wait.
Al, man, it's the same thing every year. We've been doing this, and today is the day. Today is the day where everybody is just, it's like this day, and then when you get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Maybe an eventual old-timers day, maybe a little bit of a
Subway series.
Yeah. You get really involved. But today is the day, man. Today is where everybody gets excited about maybe this is the year that their team can win a championship. There's only about 6 of those teams, but everybody else, they're like, what are we doing?
Right, exactly. Just a long slog to the end of September. All right, Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS Sports Network just getting started on this opening day 2025. We will